All right, just want to make another NBA video here. So I was wrong. It wasn't the Bulls. The Cavs actually came through, I guess. So it's left with Kevin Love is still on the Cavs. So the Cavs still do have a Monstar, and Golden State does not. Um, they really have been building up LeBron a lot, like kind of like Jordan, like defeating all the odds and everything else. Um, but they have a Monstar on their team, so I can't go. If I'm gonna stick with the Space Jam theme, then the Golden State is gonna win it. And I mean, Golden State has a ton of 49s and 122s and everything else. Um, so basically, I'm just gonna break down a few things here and talk about a couple things that go along with it. So in the regular season, the Cavs had 53 wins and 29 losses. So, in order to win the NBA Finals, you have to win 16 games, or you do win 16 games. So that would leave them with 69 wins. But if they're going to go with something to do with 69, then it doesn't necessarily make sense with that because the the Golden State Warriors, it's their 69th season in the NBA this year. And going up to this game, then in the playoffs, so the Cavs they both played, have 12 wins in the playoffs, but the Cavs only lost 2 games. So that made their record in the playoffs so far going into the finals 12-2, which is actually 122. So that was kind of interesting. And then Golden State lost 3 games so far in the playoffs, so they were 12-3 in the playoffs. And then you got like 123 is conspiracy and whatnot. Who knows? But Golden State also won 67 games in the regular season. And I believe that's actually tied for fifth of most wins ever in an NBA season. But anyway, I just did 67 wins. That actually adds up to 227, which is Valentine's, 49, all kinds of stuff I've talked about. Also, going into this game, then, the Warriors the record is 79-18 then, and the Cavs is 65-31. So not really that significant. 65-31, 79-20. It's 22nd prime number. Talked about that a whole bunch, and I know I've seen other people talking about LeBron James with the number 33, Cleveland Cavaliers at CC 33. I think it's LeBron's 6th finals. I haven't even really looked that in depth to the 33. I really should, but I'm sticking with the Space Jam theme. So anyway, but like I think it's the 6th NBA finals. So he's two. What is it? He's 2-3. So if the Cavs win, he'd be 3-3 in the NBA finals. So 33. There's a whole bunch of 33 with him, but I just don't think they're going to do that. But I don't know. Like I said, I'm just trying to show both sides here. So the Cavs, it's their 45th season this year. And Cavs adds up to 45. Cleveland adds up to 45. And Cavaliers adds up to 90, which is 45 plus 45. And of course, Love is 54. And then the Mirror is Evil, and that's 45. And I even just was messing around just typing in random stuff to see what it came up to, and I typed in Cleveland Cavaliers win, and that equals 214, which is Valentine's. So that was kind of interesting. And even like so I wrote Cavaliers beat Warriors, and that adds up to 239. But of course I can go either way. I could have wrote Warriors in front of that, and it would have been 239. Just interesting that either one, like you write that out and it's 239. Just who knows? One of the main reasons I don't think that the Cleveland Cavaliers are going to win also, I mean, for one, they have a Monstar, but and then I think Draymond Green is going to have an awesome playoffs or whatever. I mean, who knows? Maybe even somebody will get hurt, and like maybe one of the Warriors will get hurt and get blood on his jersey, and they'll have to wear a different jersey, and they'll say the only jersey they have is number 0, and then LeBron will come in and beat the Monstar. Who knows? I mean, something weird like that could happen. I wouldn't put it past it. Who knows? But anyway, I I think the Cavs are going to lose still, and it's because of the Cleveland curse, and also because they have a Monstar. So basically, what the Cleveland curse is that the Browns, the Cavaliers, and the Indians, all of Cleveland sports, and also their national hockey team that was only there for 2 seasons, none of them have won a title since 1964 when the Browns won the NFL championship game. And that was 2 seasons before the first Super Bowl. But it was 1964. So it's kind of interesting that the playoffs don't start until June 4th, which is 6-4. And I don't know why they're starting so late, considering there hasn't been a game since, let's see here. This was the last game, May 27th. So they waited 8 days. Go figure. But I guess the moral is it doesn't start until 6-4, and Cleveland hasn't won a championship since 1964, so another 6-4. Also, it says here they have endured an unprecedented combined 156 season championship drought. Now, I'm really confused with how they got this number. It just doesn't make sense to me. So this number could be wrong. Because I mean, how does it make sense? The Browns, there's only 3 teams, and then this team had 2 seasons. So, it was 64, so that means 1965 until now. So that would be 51 seasons. And like the baseball season's not even over with, and the Cavs season isn't even over with, so that'd be 50 and 50, and then 51. That's only 152. And then that doesn't even count like the season that there was the Major League lockout where they didn't play any games. I also think the Browns weren't even a team for a couple years. So I mean, and the Cavaliers didn't even start until 1970. So I'm confused by this number, I guess. But if this is the true number, I don't know. I find it kind of weird here. So like I said, I don't know when it's starting, but the number 64, if you do it like that, it adds up to 157, and this is 156 seasons. So you wouldn't think that would include the Cavaliers until they win, because the season would be over then, or lose, right? So that would be, I guess that would be the 157th season. So 64 and then 157. So I don't know. The Cavs might win. I'm like I said, still sticking with Golden State though. But who knows? I just don't think that number is correct. So maybe they were waiting that many seasons for a team to break the curse. Also, 156, the 156 prime number, if I can get to it here, is 9/11. So I don't know. Found that kind of interesting. 156 prime, 9/11. But that was 51 years ago also. So 51 seasons ago or whatever. So, I mean, 51, this is a 52 year. So maybe they'll do it next season. Maybe Cleveland's going to win next season. Who knows? Anyway, I kind of wanted to go through and talk about some of these curses, the reasons why Cleveland has a curse. And the first one was called Red Right 88. Go figure. 88. And this one was a passing play that got intercepted, and the Cleveland Browns actually lost, even though, I'll explain it here in a second. But look, it was on 1-4, and the Raiders won with 14 points. Go figure, though. It's the Raiders, Oakland. That's where Golden State is from. The Golden State Warriors are from Oakland. So it's Oakland versus the Browns. Imagine that, the first one. But anyway, the whole play or whatever, so they were down by 2 points. So a field goal would win the game, basically. And they drove the ball all the way down, and they called the timeout with, go figure, 49 seconds left. And then instead of kicking a field goal from, what was it, the 13-yard line, instead of kicking a field goal, they threw a pass, just like what happened in the, well, not just like, but just like what happened in the Super Bowl this year when the Seahawks threw the pass for no reason at all. This one's a little different because it wasn't it wasn't like fourth down, and also there was 49 seconds left, so I could maybe see them throwing a pass. I don't know. You think they would, since it was only whatever, and they had a timeout left, so you think they would have just ran another running play or something. But anyway, so the coach that called the play was Brian Sipe. Or no, that's not the coach. That's the quarterback. Sam Rudy, whatever. But he was born in 1933, and they still lost. So, I mean, the 33s, maybe they're significant, but they still lost. The quarterback was this guy, Brian Sipe, and he was born on 8/8/1949. And remember, the play started with 49 seconds left to go. He's also number 17, which 17 is a Jubilee year. It's 49 years before 1966. And then this guy will be 66 this year on 8/8. His name also adds to 93. And then Mike Davis is the guy who intercepted the ball. And his name adds up to 93 as well. And Mike Davis is 59 years old this year, born on April 15th. April 15th, huge day. Tons of stuff with it. I mean, if you go watch Zachary K. Hubbard's videos with black people and the number 59 and whatnot, and then, he intercepted the pass against the Cleveland Browns, like the brown people. I mean, it's just ridiculous. And Dave Logan was supposed to catch the ball. But they ended up throwing it to a different guy, Ozzie something. But look when this guy's born. 2/2/54. I mean, enough said. Don't even need to explain it. And then the guy who they ended up throwing to was Ozzie Newsome. And this guy's 59 also. But interesting. So later on in his career, on November 22nd, 11/22, JFK, all that junk. 2002, that was another 22. He was named general manager for the Baltimore Ravens. He's making him the first African American to occupy that position in the NFL. And then he went on and won a Super Bowl ring against the Giants in Super Bowl 35. And also, he got a second ring when they defeated the San Francisco 49ers. I mean, in 2013 in the Super Bowl. And this is the kicker. And supposedly he had missed 2 field goals. And then earlier in the game, and that's why they didn't let him kick it or whatever. But just look at this guy. 37th day of the year, 1945. I mean, give me a break. So moving on, this talks about all the Cleveland bad things or whatever. So the next one is called The Drive. And it was on 1/1/1 of 87. But basically what happened was John Elway drove the ball 98 yards, which is 49-49, in 15 plays, so the 49, 2015, to tie the game with 37 seconds left in regulation. And then Denver ended up winning in overtime with a field goal. But it also took 5 minutes and 2 seconds, 52, talked about that. 98, we've talked about it, 15. And then 37 seconds left in regulation, 37, talked about that for a long time. And, of course, John Elway is 54 years old until June 28th. And then it even talks about how this was in a Hot Tub Time Machine, which I did a video on that as well. Hot Tub Time Machine. And the butterfly effect caused the squirrel, blah, blah, blah. And then they end up having to, suck. They're supposed to suck each other off or whatever, and they get knocked out and all that, if you've ever seen the movie. But just found that kind of interesting that was one of the plays in Hot Tub Time Machine. Then we had the fumble. And the fumble happened between the Browns and the Broncos again on January 17th of 1988. But January 17th is 1/17, 11/7. 11/7, there's 54 days left until the end of the year. It says with 112 left, this guy fumbled while trying to score a touchdown that would have given them a chance to tie, blah, 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 and they ended up losing 38-33. So 33 again, they still lost. But 11-2, 22. And the guy who fumbled it is 52. And this guy stripped the ball at the 2-yard line. And he was born on 1/15, 11/5, time travel, all that crap. And he's 54. Then we have the catch, and basically it was in one of the 1954 World Series. I'm not gonna detail with it. Made this video way too long. September 29th, though, interesting. From Valentine's Day to October 8th or 11th, which would be 8/11. But it's 10/11 or 8/11, but it's 239 days. But to September 29th, it's actually 227 days. So 1954, and then 229 days after, or 227 days after Valentine's. I guess, Willie Mays was the guy who ran back and caught it. It was in the 8th inning. The score was actually 2-2, 22. Willie Mays played for 22 seasons. If it would have been a home run, it would have been a home run pretty much in any other stadium, and it would have gave the Indians a 5-2 lead, 52. And then this one off Nagy's glove. It dealt with a Game 7 of the World Series in 1997. But basically, this guy started Game 3, and this guy started Game 4. For some reason, they started him in Game 7, and then this guy came in later, and they hit a ball, and it bounced off his glove, and then they scored, it bounced off his glove, and Florida scored and then ended up winning it in the 11th inning, 3-2. But this guy, I thought was interesting. Born on May 5th, 5/5 of 1967. Revelation, whatever, 5/5/55. Then there was The Shot. Talked about this before in a different video with Michael Jordan. It's not going to go that much in detail with it. Just going to say, so Michael Jordan, basically, he made a game winner against the Cavs in Game 5 of the playoffs, and the Cavs were supposed to win, but he made it over this guy, Craig Elo, however you say it. This guy was born on August 11th, 8/11, so 88, and he will be 54 this year. And then the decision is just about LeBron leaving Cleveland and going to the Heat, so I'm not even going to go into that one. Then it talks about the Cleveland Indians and the curse of Chief Wahoo. That's like their logo. That's who the logo is, supposedly. Every time I see this logo, I literally think of the movie Major League that came out. And this movie was about the Indians. Whatever. Just wanted to point out, so Wild Thing or whatever was Charlie Sheen. To me, was the main character. But Charlie Sheen is 49. The guy who played catcher is this guy, and he is like the main character. He was born in 1949. And then, I don't know, the third guy on here, born September 7th of 1954, which is 7/7/54. Oh, who knows? Just whatever. Just I think even this lady was born in 1954. But yeah, moving on. Another one with the Indians. You had the curse of Rocky Colavito. And Rocky Colavito was born on August 10th, so that's the 222nd day, 222, in 1933. And basically what happened was in 1960 trade between the Tigers and the Indians sent him to the Tigers for Harvey, Kuhn. Basically, this guy was the home run champion of the year, and then they traded him for the best batting average guy in 59. So interesting is 59 and 59. And that was the curse, basically. When they traded him away, they couldn't win anymore, I guess. But, let's see here. Then it says, the birth of the curse. It was first presented by Terry Pluto. He wrote a book called The Plain Dealer in 1994, the Mirror of 49, called The Curse of Rocky Colavito, a loving look at a 33-year slump. So remember, he was born in 33, and then they got the 33-year slump in 94. It even says by 94, the team had not won a pennant since 1954 or a World Series since 1948. I believe though that they went on and they won the pennant in '95 and '97. I think that's what. And this is the guy who wrote that book, born in 1955, and he's still 59 years old. 55, 59. That guy even says prior to the publication of that, there had been another explanation for the Indians' difficulties. They came after 1954, blah, blah, blah. The Indians fired manager Bobby Bragan, BB88. And supposedly this guy went out to the pitcher's mound and said they'd never win a pennant again and cursed him. But look, he was born in 1917, the Jubilee year. I mean, that's 49 years ago, or 49 plus 49 years ago it will be on October 30th. And then 121, and 121 is one of the numbers that adds up. Revelation adds up to 121, 67, and 49. And then this page just talks about the birth of the curse and a whole bunch of stuff that happened to the Indians, whatever. But it says the last one here, in 1993, a spring training boating accident that killed pitcher Steve Olin, Tim Cruz, and nearly killed Bob Ojeda or whatever. And then their other pitcher was so grief-stricken that they traded him mid-season, and he never gained his effectiveness. But so it was in 1993. The mascot, Chief Wahoo, adds up to 93. I might have spelled that wrong, but I know when I did it earlier, I spelled it right, and it was 93. But and this was 93. But just look at these guys here, the guys who died. This guy was born on October 4th, huge 88 day. The accident happened on 3/22. Go figure, the big skull and bones. And he was 27 years old. And this year is a huge 27 year. So, and even better is that if he was still alive, he would be 49 until October 4th of this year. And this guy died as well. He was the other guy who died in that accident. And he was born on April 3rd, which 4/3, also the 93rd day of the year. Interesting. And then he must have died the next day. I assume he must, from injuries or whatever. So 93rd day, dies in 93. And he was also signed with the Indians on 122. And I've talked about 122 a lot lately. And this guy was number 52. So interesting. And the other guy was number 31. But this guy was 31 years old. I don't know. Doesn't have to mean much, just kind of weird. He is 31, number 52. The other guy was number 31. And this guy was the one who survived. He was the lone survivor in that. And just whatever. He is born in 57, is 57. And his last Major League appearance, April 22nd, 4/22, 88, 112th day of the year, 22, in 94, the mirror of 49. So I apologize, this video is super long, but moral of the story, the Golden State Warriors I think are going to win it because I don't think that Cleveland is going to break the curse because it just doesn't really make sense to break it this year. Next year makes more sense for the Cavs to win, but this year I don't know. I just don't think they're going to break the curse. They also have number 0, so sticking with it, and I'm going to end it there. So, Golden State, I think they're going to win it. I think they're going to win it in 7 games, though. It's going to be 7 games. So, anyway, but who knows? Like, I'm just making that up. I just think it's going to be a close game because Space Jam was a close game. So, also they had it was 77-67, and the score magically changed to 77-76. Right before Jordan dunked it. So I think there's going to be something to do with 77, 76, and 67. And also it's going to be a close series because of that. So anyway, who knows? Have a great one. Bye.